You see those fist bumps starting to go through. Let's dive into the action, Manhattan Center. Make some noise as we get ready for our lower bracket finals.
Thank you so much, Golden Boy. This is the moment that really we've all been waiting for. Today, we get to see if the Cinderella run will continue, or if, again, the big bad wolves of G2 are going to be able to hold the line and blow the house down and then kind of just rain all over the party.
Well, starting out in the pistol round, I'm taking a look at Baby Bear. Said he was the important player to watch on the defense. He's got two players running him down to start with. Sticks around, does a little damage, eats a prowler. But Zeta are going exploring through mid.
They've got the chamber trip on the other side, and it's kind of smoked off to where they can tuck a little bit further up. Now they've cleared it, they can take a step back.
Jorgamo is so dangerous with Frenzy in hand. At least they've done some chip damage to him.
Meanwhile, they haven't found the wall over on A.
No, and it's given Leaf a lot of peace of mind here. Yeah. They can stack 4 players to fend off Zeta where they're making noise, which is in mid.
Yeah, this is danger. I don't like this. Valorant still has a flash. Yeah, they're starting to take a step back. They evacuate from the space, but not without a kill being traded either way.
1 for 1. You lose Valin. Leaf already invested the wall. It's going to make the defuse a lot more difficult.
Again, this tit for tat continues as the rounds play on.
Plant down, safe plant though. Not the greatest for playing these post-plant positions, but the health advantage in favor of the Japanese team.
XCL able to punish one onto Jogamo. Echo gets another. 3 on the round for the duelist. Zeta get the pistol.
A great start, showing that they're not too one-dimensional as well. They went for a prod, fake pressure over towards B main, saw if they could try to exploit a kill at top mid. And then as G2 fended them off, Zeta were able to go back through Leaf's wall in A main. Good calling. Sign of a team that's willing to be flexible and not just go based off the plan at barrier drop. The plant money, the kills, going to allow Echo to get up to a Bulldog. He was thinking about pulling a Phantom into this round, but the buy in general going to be really good here for Zeta.
Trying to disrespect that one way. Honey Bunny, nice shot. Bullet between the eyes of Jogamo. And now Zeta can play this very relaxed. Brother, we were talking about how we really felt like Zeta needed to play a little bit off the cuff. It's only a round and a half in, but it does seem like they're doing that.
Well, they also need to be sharp in terms of their individual skill, and Honey Bunny there with 2 very important ones. Gets caught on the lurk, but they're going to have great information about where most of these G2 players are. Valak caught, seized up.
Yeah, had no real way to go, no real way to respond either. Meanwhile, Echo double dashing out onto the site, TP's back. This little dangerous push and pull, you gotta be careful here. You don't want to put some of these weapons down. But they're all good. Only 1 lost.
Yeah, they'll be fine in that. Honey Bunny came in with just the ghost.
Right,
so they got plenty of stuff to bring into the next round. Like you said, only losing one of those potential guns that they can have in the bonus. It's a great start for Zeta. After what happened earlier against NRG, I think there would have been some doubts that they could bring that form that they showcased earlier in the tournament to a big game like this.
I had them. Yeah, I had those doubts.
But when you see them open like this, they're certainly going to attempt to win the game. They're going to try to take it into their own hands.
Boy, that is fast. And it's a fake.
Well, that's just a punish to try to get a pick on a player that would be opening.
Yeah, that's where Leaf was playing in the previous round.
Baby Bay caught before he could TP back.
That's a conversation we were having. He was also out of the range of his TP, so he wasn't even in a position to get away. A bit too far out of his range.
Echo's getting flanked by Jorgamo. Jorg would have to come up huge here to avoid losing a bonus.
He would be the guy to do it. They were wise, they were ahead of it, they even knew. But Jogamo in that position can't contribute much more. And so Leaf is left in this 1v3. Again, a bonus would be, I mean, a disaster start for G2, but also everything that Zeta could possibly want. In the face of, can they do it again? In the face of, oh, it was just the best of 1. To be able to open Sunset up 3, potentially 4 with G2 down in money would be tremendous.
And it looks like that's going to be the case. Leaf backing up, doesn't want to contest. Keeps the Vandal, keeps the armor, but allows Zeta up to a 3-0 lead. What a great idea on the bonus. So that's much more about the barrier drop idea there.
Yeah.
Eco, even though he had a Bulldog to be able to play with, grabs the shorty, double dashes in. Okay, the opening pick didn't quite go his way. But then, Bulldog in hand finds a kill onto Valin. Very long-range engagement.
And remember, too, that's the spot that Leaf was playing in the previous round. And so I wonder how much of that was let's try to punish if someone's going to be playing there aggressively. And
oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it's a very deliberate bonus round idea there from Zeta that they could try to run on an eco as well, something like that. But G2 are going to have to be a little bit cautious. We were talking about how explosive the Waylay Rays can be. Both of those duelists can jump on you at a moment's notice.
Everyone on the side of Zeta is A, including those two duelists. But there's plenty of firepower on the other side. They dodged the stun, though. How far ahead of this do they go? Jogamo falls. Trent, nice with the Sheriff. Finds a second. Almost. Gets a third.
Lots of bodies behind this. G2 can start stacking over towards A. They heard noise from pretty much everyone on Zeta. Zeta have to some degree, defend the guns that have been dropped as well, so Absol's in.
Satcheling all the way backside, looking to clear, but Jenny was never covered. Echo from on high, gets another. And now it's Leaf again, thrust in this 1vx situation. Put in a position to be the savior for G2. Gets his one, and then walled off. Forced to take the fight the way Leaf wants him to take it, a heal. Just managing to buy a little space.
He's got the ult line.
And there it is. Absol's got to find the timing. Bullet whizzes right by his ear, but stays alive. And the clock becomes a factor here.
This is an extremely strange position. Leaf walled himself off from being able to path around both sides of the box.
Can't really flank. Oh! Dude, what in the world was that?
Oh, that's disgusting. That's the value you're getting from Leaf mechanically. That's a vile flick shot. And the Red Bull clutch comes through. Comes good in the 1v2. He had entirely the wrong read about where Absol was there. Crosshair placement be damned, baby. I can't believe what he's watching. Neither can the crowd. But that, all of that, just to get G2 there first.
Yeah, momentum, man. That's a big one. You saw everyone pop off on the side of G2. That might be exactly what they needed. Baby Bay with an op. Hasn't really had a ton of value yet, but early days. Echo once again going aggressively, double dashing out onto that box, but it's actually a chamber triplet sitting there. Oh, you spotted a foot. That's an elbow.
Wow. Very fast reaction times, almost a pre-fight.
Yeah.
From Baby Bay. He hasn't been trying to get posted up on an aggressive A angle. One of the interesting things about the way that Echo's starting these rounds with that double dash is that it stops Leaf from really ever throwing slows or walls early A main. But is that the value you want? Fully expending the refract and the light speed. Zeta defaulting, their calling has been good.
Yeah, I really like this.
On the pistol round, they were really good at finding that weakness, finding the gap in what G2 were running.
The problem with this, though, is that smoke going up mid suggests that they're leaving out B, and you start to see either attention towards the middle of the map or Baby Bay rotating back A.
Waylay ultimate, always available here.
They haven't fully committed. Oh, he's ahead of the smoke. Sugar Zero falls. The op doesn't connect, and you see Zeta start to go into disarray. Here, Absol tries to Goomba stop him and can't. And so now it's just one remaining. He blew the ult. He gets two. So much more to do, though, in the face of a dog. He's the one who's put in a kennel.
Valen is the hero of that round, playing bodyguard for the operator that Baby Bay was playing. If Baby Bay's on his own there, I don't think there's any shot that he's going to be able to defend against Absol flying over the top of him.
No shot.
But when Valen's got his back with a rifle in hand, suddenly that becomes a bit of a feed play from Absol instead of a punish onto the chamber. Good team play from G2, good work backing each other up, filling those gaps, and making sure they get value out of Baby Bay's op.
Busted by for Zeta here. A Bucky, a couple of stingers.
Oh my god, he's done so much damage there just by spamming through the box. And it's a bit of a bait as well, as Leaf falls off. They're not going to think about Baby Bay on this angle.
Nope, and he's got the line. He was good on the first, good on the second.
And they wall off contact. So annoying to deal with.
Just barely missing that one too. Off the paranoia, they're going to try to flood him behind, but Absol's not even able to find the space, not allotted the advantage. And now Leaf tucking behind the smoke. Sugar Zero never saw him. Leaf gets a second. No Thrifty this time. G2 have tied us up.
That's a lovely defensive setup. All of the game plan working well there for G2. They dismiss the eco from Zeta, but that means Rifle's back. And ults online, huge ultimates online for both sides. But I'm particularly looking at Zeta Division on the attack because they're the ones going to be crafting a strategy here. And if they can escort Honey Bunny into a position to get value from the Steel Garden, that could be a win condition. G2 look like they want to go walkabouts in mid though to open this one.
I don't think they've done that yet, really. Meanwhile, the op is on the other side. Echo gets the first. Leaf is on the trade, and Absol joins the party. Steady with it. Echo gets a second.
Valin ulted all the way into spawn.
There was someone waiting with open arms.
This a mix-up in the tempo from G2. They decided to do something really aggressive off the rip, disrupting Zeta's plans with the ultimates before it could begin, but it backfires, blows up in their face.
Trent's going to see what he can find, maybe get any info, perhaps a pick. But Zeta are playing bunched up. I don't think he's going to be given that.
No, and there's nobody home on the A side at all. G2 gambling that things were going to end over towards A. And at this point, Trent's going to realize the error. XDLL at least does invest in ultimate if you're thinking about silver linings for G2.
Yeah.
But they're few and far between in this round.
I mean, I guess if you're Zeta, you want to secure it. And so leave no stone unturned, but either way, they find that the site is open, they get the spike down. The thing is, G2 do have money.
They do.
They can make a play.
Yeah, they can certainly attempt something,
Yeah.
but their positioning is...
Suggests otherwise, yeah.
Well, their positioning is also just not good enough to really take a fight. They're not close enough to apply any pressure.
Echo's also one off of his ult, and so you certainly don't want to donate that ult over, sure.
So G2... I think the actual opener that really failed this fast aggro attempt on defense is Jorgamo dying instantly to Echo in A main.
Yeah.
Because if Jorg either wins that fight or continues to pull aggression in his direction, the teleport play from Valin may have actually seen some value.
Yeah.
But when Echo is able to instantly refract,
no way,
get around, it's not too much damage in either direction, to be honest.
No.
But it's the first time, actually, in the whole tournament that I can remember Jorg having a slower start. He's certainly not non-existent, but he's not taking over the game for G2 like he has done earlier on.
Like we saw him do yesterday.
The attack side might be where he truly comes online, though.
Yeah.
The Neon's going to be in its element there.
Yeah. And I mean, that said, I wouldn't say G2 have a slow start by any means, but it's not Jorgamo who's lighting the world on fire, you're right.
Yeah. Look how fast Echo is taking all of this space, though. He just pops the refract at the beginning of the round, and if he meets the chamber, he can disappear. If he meets a stack, he can disappear.
Right.
But it does mean that he's burning that very critical piece of utility early on.
Right.
Gotta imagine this is an ult round for Zeta, though.
They've heard the op. They popped both ults and a flash.
It
to
caught
secure
Baby
the site. Did it. Yeah.
He's hindered. What does that do when he's got an ult, though? Not much.
No, not a whole lot. Roomba's cleared for him. But Zeta get the spike down. Note here, Jorgamo has his ult, Trent had his ult, and we're just on cue. The Nightfall rolls out. A stun behind it, Jorgamo gets out the pew-pew fingers, but not going to find a target.
They're crunching the A-Link players that don't exist.
Honey Bunny falling. Valen getting another. Just a couple of members left on the side of Zeta. Now they're not going to find the openers, but Echo getting two. It's just not enough.
They completely misread where that retake was coming from.
Yeah.
They all dodged the Fade ultimate coming through Zeta Division. And even Omen ulted deep to try to crunch, thinking that the split retake was coming through from both sides. And it wasn't. G2 sent everyone from spawn. And so they're able to get the site, get onto the defuse really quickly. No one from Zeta able to adapt. So the ult round favored towards G2. I mean, look at it. They've completely flipped positions in this replay. Even the wall coming out to block off any elbow players, if indeed there was one. It's a phenomenal start from Echo on the Waylay, 13-4.
Yeah.
But Zeta forced to take a tactical timeout because the ideas, they're starting to slow down in terms of the efficiency. They're getting to the site, but then not generating the picks, not jumping on the players. I think they're expecting, to be honest with you, G2 to be playing much further forwards.
Right, more scrappy up on the front end. Yeah, take those fights.
Even when we were discussing it, we were expecting Babybay to be on aggressive lines with the op, right? You're thinking about chamber value, you're thinking about him fighting B main, fighting A main, getting posted. He's actually been playing really passive.
Yeah, I think we saw him take the B main line once, maybe?
Yeah, and then, you know, he's been opping from the back of B, opping from the back of A elbow, and that's because he doesn't want to get jumped on by the Waylay Rays and lose all of that value early. So he's adapted before ever being punished, and I think it's thrown Zeta a little for a loop. They could make an adaptation to take this space for free early on, but it's risky just in case he does move a little more aggro.
Op not finding its mark there.
But he was on a slightly more aggressive line.
Yes, he was. Roomba also sniffing out a little bit of the G2 defense.
If you give Absol the plant, he will have the showstopper.
He does not have the spike, though. It's currently in the hands of Sugar Zero.
Maybe a bit of missed value there from Zeta Division, but he goes down anyway.
Snappy out from Babybay. He'll have the ult, but it's going to be in the next round. The ult, or the op, excuse me, looking for a second. We'll find it. Headhunter not able to contribute the same way. As Valen now tries to fill in on the space and succeeds. 2 kills found. Another just around the corner, and Echo falls.
Similar round to the previous. Zeta take A, have the site, can't win a post plan. G2 put the squeeze on them. And they op. It's dangerous.
Yeah, well,
shutting down anything that Zeta tried to do with that extra layer of aggression.
So what's the adjustment here for Zeta?
Well, like I said, I think you want to be contacting at the start of the rounds a little more so that you can take some space, save some utility, and jump on them into deeper positions.
Yeah.
But the problem with making that adjustment is that at any point, Babybay can be on a more aggressive angle and you just die.
It's a gamble, isn't it?
It's a big gamble.
Right.
And so, depends how bold they're feeling, depends how good their read is.
Still has the op. Still a problem as G2 have put together 5 of the last 6. A little bit more aggression. They drew out a flash. They drew out an eye.
But this time, Echo knows that there's a stack over on the A side.
Right.
Got hit by a paranoia, sees that the Neon is playing over there, so they can start to accelerate into market, push the Opera off the line.
They've smoked the right side of mid. Do they dare push into that? Just trying to clear the trip, I believe. Will succeed.
Valen tried to punish.
Yeah, Jogamo might try to do the same, too. Onset, he sits back behind the smoke.
And Leaf has walled B main, so they can afford to commit many resources here towards mid. They're going to go for a re-clear, G2.
Start to see that first panel go down. Immediately, smoke goes up. Echo falls, who's been the star for Zeta.
He wasn't expecting Jorg to be that deep in mid. Proactivity rewarded for G2.
Babybay is in the right place at the right time.
They've had the better adaptations, the defense.
Fire now! You pluck him out of the sky, yes he does! Snappy with it as Babybay gets another!
Strike down B.
His adjustments have been perfect, the positioning, anticipating exactly where Zeta want to go.
Left.
At the start of this game, we were thinking, wow, he's not quite on the deepest lines. But when you watch what value he's getting, you can't have a problem with what Babybay's up to.
Right.
And they're just playing with XDLL here. Got him wrapped around. No time on the clock.
10 seconds left.
You got 1. That's 2 off of the Nightfall. Presuming he dies, he will be knocking on the door of that ult.
But no guns to work with either. Zeta Division, a red hot start. The pistol, the bonus, all looked really nice. But G2, not so much warming up on an individual level, but getting a read of how Zeta want to play. And now all of these rounds, they look in control. Absol just floated straight into Babybay's lap.
Yeah, round 11, they don't really have any money. You presume G2's going to be at 7, and so if you're Zeta, you're looking to get away with a 7-5 at best.
Cover going out.
We'll see what they do here on this thrifty round, though. They continue to push that, and this time you see the adaptation actually coming out from G2. For as much as Echo hits that line every time, Trent gets 2. Leaf gets another. This round is already over.
Yeah, Trent just spamming a smoke down towards mid. They even res round 11 to make it a 5v1. I don't think Echo's winning that.
Last round in the half.
And so we go into this last round here. They should have money. They're going to have a couple of ults. I mean, I guess just one, actually. XCLL, Sugar Zero's one off of his, and we've seen some Silly Omen stuff, but yeah, this one will be tough.
I think maybe you want to be saving the refract a little. I know that Echo wants to do this as part of his A side default, but if you Prowler the left side instead, the only player that's been playing there is Baby Boy. So if the Prowler meets contact A main, you know the chamber is there, you can try to jump on him.
He's elbow now, though. But so they are Prowlering out.
They do Prowler the left side, he's playing the right. Misses the shot again, but they'll have another opportunity.
Pushed off the Nightfall. Honey Bunny falls, and they try to push their way forward. Echo up first will buy a little bit of cover and a little bit of space. And G2 are kind of shut out of the sight.
But they're fast on the flank.
Yeah, brother. They're going to kick the walls down.
It's these post plants that haven't been working for Zeta.
XCLL's already down. Baby Bay jumps into a second, hits that shot.
Don't do it to him.
Sugar Zero and Absol not able to find anything else. Sugar Zero, what can you do there? 1v4? Good luck, brother.
G2 are out for revenge today. The jump swing. Baby Bay misses some of the more easy shots when he's posted on the line at the start of the round and then hits that, jumping around the corner into A-Link. They look very confident now. It's all smiles in the G2 camp. Leaf was even rezzing for a 5v1 in round 11. So they're clearly very comfortable out there. Not shaken by the fact that they lost to Zeta in a BO1 earlier.
We'll see if they can figure this out. We've got Liz standing by with one of the GOATs of the game, and Finesse, take it away.
Yes, it is one of the GOATs, none other than Finesse. Hello, sir, how are you? Give it up for Finesse, everyone. I mean, talk to me about watch partying here. Watch partying in New York City at Red Bull Homeground. How's it been?
Honestly, it's been pretty cool. The amount of people that are here, it's impressive how many people are here to support Valorant, and people are so excited. I think it's insane, honestly. This makes it feel like an actual VCT event, I'm not gonna lie, just because of how many people are cheering for all these teams, you know? I actually heard more Zeta chants than I did, for NRG, probably because they're the underdogs, but still, the support that these people have for everyone is pretty insane.
I mean, something I've noticed about your co-streams anytime I tune in is you're kind of almost like an educator when it comes to your co-streams. And you are so open to answering questions, no matter how basic or how advanced. How has that been, kind of being such a leader in that space as a co-streamer?
I don't really consider myself a leader. People like Tarek, for example, people even Sam at the beginning, they're inspirations to me for why I do, how I was able to get to the point that I've gotten to. I just appreciate that everyone watches and enjoys it. And I do the best that I can to genuinely try to put in the effort to make it so that it's enjoyable for all kinds of people and then also informative to some degree.
I mean, obviously, how many people watch Finesse's co-streams out here? Amazing. Now, I've been asking everyone for predictions. Can I have a prediction for the scoreline in this best of 3 between Zeta and G2?
Nah, it's just G2 2-0, sorry.
Simple as that. Well, thank you so much. Everyone give Finesse one more time. I'm gonna send it back to the desk because we have a game to get back to.
Yeah, I love, we've talked about it a little bit, but I truly believe this is the greatest city in the world. And they're backing Valorant Esports from top to bottom. It's been so much fun to watch. They'll see if they can will Zeta back into this because they're down 4 and any of that early start that they pulled off is just kind of gone now. It's a bit of a whimper.
Yeah, I did think Finesse was going to get some boos when he said G2 in a 2-0 fashion there against Zeta Division, but he's too well liked. That's the thing.
And look, I respect it. He's 6 to his guns. He's not a people pleaser.
Well, it looks like a G2 2-0 at the moment, doesn't it? It was a great start for Zeta Division, but I think they're going to need another pistol to have some hope here. On the attack side, maybe the Chamber and the Sage will find it a little more difficult, but I think you could say the same about the duelists on defense.
Yeah.
Absol and Echo maybe finding it a bit harder to find their timings. Aggro plays like this will make a lot of sense.
But they've got to be fast. I think you lean more into the aggro crunches off barrier drop instead of contacting up, because when you've got a double Senti comp on attack, a line is being held.
Jorgamo found value going for a pretty similar play in a previous round, but Baby Bay very ready for that one. Shut down Echo and Absol. I mean, look at the positions being held right now for G2. They know exactly what is happening. They know there's going to be an aggressive push, holding the deepest lanes on the map.
50 seconds left in the round. A flash through towards A.
Yeah, pushing Absol off the line.
Right, which he wasn't even up in the first place.
XDLL peeks into mid, spots him out. And they are going into the stack. Chances for Zeta to win.
I mean, you've even got an XDLL who's arriving just in the nick of time. Honey Bunny backside, one tagged, eyes traded. Both teams lit up.
Player standing.
And it's G2 who cracks the site wide open. The stack crumbles, as does Absol. G2 get the pistol.
No follow-up off the back of the paranoia. G2 with pace, head through market and continue what has essentially been an unbroken streak. Round 7 going to Zeta Division, but other than that, pure dominance.
Last player standing.
And Zeta are not one of the teams that we've seen go for the force buys after losing pistol. That's been G2's domain.
Yeah.
Josh RT looking a bit proud, a bit relieved, a couple of mixture of emotions.
What's going on here? what do we got here?
Do they dare peek?
I just hope so. Nah.
Well, as soon as the smoke comes through, that quad stack disintegrated.
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame, really. I think that would have been fun to watch. Baby Bay, second time's a charm. Traded back, though. Not really in a spot to be able to... I mean, I guess Honey Bunny's able to grab the weapon.
But there's 3 players with full armor on G2, so it's not even like... I mean, usually that Outlaw would be an enormous piece of treasure to grab. But not this time.
No, now they're walled off on the other side, too, thanks to Leaf.
They're very good at playing around their timings as well. As soon as the wall goes through, G2 commit. That discipline that you know to expect from this squad.
Trying to chop it down. They do break one of the panels. Jogamo, steady. Not finding lethality quite yet, but damage dealt and threat delivered.
There goes the Outlaw.
Just like that. Now picked up by Sugar Zero, who's going to try to do what his teammate could not. Jogamo forced to take a step back. There's Leaf down to 10 HP, so you found one of the weak ones. Still more work to be done, though. Echo falling. Got to force your way through, and they just don't have the guns. They don't have the space.
The machine of G2 keeps on whirring.
Yeah.
And at the moment, it's making mulch out of Zeta. The fire that was present at the beginning of this map, earlier in the tournament, when they took down G2 on Haven, not quite present right now. This is G2's map pick. If you're expecting Zeta to be playing a fantastic game, maybe that'll come through on Split, but I think they had chances here, being able to cause a lot of problems with the Waylay Rays, and credit to G2 for immediately adapting to what they were expected to come out of the Japanese team. Here they go, walkabouts again. More of that aggression, but this time off the barrier drop. Not necessarily going for crunches, more of a contact play, but just trying to see if they can find an early pick.
They threw that thing all the way in reverse. They're going to try to push their way out towards B. Echo is here. Honey Bunny not far off either. Jogamo falling at the hands of the duelist, but instantly traded.
Traded, walled off. 4v4.
Leaf up a bit too far. But again, the protocols from G2 seem to suggest that they're going to be able to stabilize on this. Once again, down in numbers. 2v2 now, Sugar Zero left alone. In a 1v1. Trent waiting on the other side, guessing, paranoid on where he is. Confirmed now. And takes a step back. Trying to buy a little time as Sugar Zero's on the prowl. He's on the hunt. Trying to find a timing. Trent at the ready, looking at just the right place, and Trent delivers for G2.
Incredible composure there from Trent. 20 kills, 20 and 6, an absolute lights out map from him. Trading out all of these into backside with a Bulldog, and then going for a wide swing, baiting the early shot out of Sugar Zero and punishing him. A lot of experience from Sugar Zero that he adds to the Zeta Division team, but Trent gets by far the better end of him in that 1v1. And that was a must-win round for Zeta.
I agree.
They're going to go into a tactical timeout, but at this point, 7-round deficit, you're on an eco, you're looking towards Split.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, 7-round deficit and G2 are 2 rounds away from closing the map out.
Absolutely.
I mean, they're knocking on the door.
Yeah. At this point, too little, too late, I think.
And so what are we even talking about here, right? During this timeout, is this a moral rally, like a rally cry? What's going on?
I mean, there are some things that you can still learn from this. From the players are going to be focused in the moment. How do we win round by round by round?
Right, of course.
If I'm the coach of Zeta, though, I'm maybe using these final rounds to figure out what actually works against the way that G2 are playing. Because think about what we're going to see on Split. We could easily see something really similar on Split.
Yeah.
Where G2 are playing slow defaults with a double initiator comp, and Zeta are playing double duelist and trying to force the pace up. If you can find a way of making this double duelist style work on defense, whether it's those barrier drop crunches that you were talking about, or whether it is, you know, hard pushing out one side of the map and playing retake for the other side, whatever the idea is, if you can find something that works here, you might be able to bring the learnings through to map 2.
Absol's already been picked out of the round.
Yeah, these individual fights forward have not been successful for Zeta. G2 are just too disciplined and too ready for it.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the problem is, too, because of how coordinated they are, even if you do get a pick, there's a chance G2 has another member close by who's going to trade him out.
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's part of the reason why Trent has got 20 kills already.
Yeah.
He's just rock solid in those positions. Again, Zeta punished for going walkabouts down tiles.
They play together so well.
The contact plays are not working.
That's a nice shot. Go on, son. Take another. G2 gets to 12, and Zeta really kind of a shell of the team that we saw yesterday.
Yeah, I think it's tough to replicate what they did in the upper bracket. A lot of that was on their attack side, where they wiped the floor, for example, with FNATIC, with G2. It was by hammering these aggressive rounds on their attack with double duelist comps again and again and again. And I think what we saw in the first half is G2 already had a good game plan and then adapted to polish up the details. And unfortunately, when you're down 8-4 and going into your defense with double duelist on Sunset, you're probably not set yourself up great.
No. So G2 will go quiet and slow on this one. Again, expecting those contact push-ups that Zeta have been doing really the entire half.
Absol's got a good line here on A. It can allow the rest of the team to overstack towards mid, towards B. If he does get pressured, it's going to be by a Prowler. No, not even. Contact, but Babybay wins it. I mean, you have to be favored there.
Yeah, you would think. And Jogamo slides his way into another. Zeta came into this as darlings. They came into this as underdogs, and we thought for just a moment that maybe Goliath falls.
Planted.
But they come into Sunset, and they leave in a whimper.
3 out of the 4 rounds they got were off the back of the pistol, the follow-up, and a bonus. That is utterly brutal.
Yeah.
And G2 are all over them right now. Sugar Zero left to wonder what has gone so wrong today. And he hits the floor for a 13-4. Absolute dominance from G2. What a recovery compared to the last time they played against Zeta.
I mean, to think that it could have been worse, right? It could have been worse than 13-4.
It could have been.
It's a wild situation there. Again, G2 taking map 1 up against Zeta, and they do so in pretty convincing fashion. I don't think they really got tested at all.
Pushes, those aggressive pushes. How many times do we see poor Absol just go for the setup only to just get plucked right in the sideshow? It really felt like he was on point, especially in that first half. An absolutely dominating performance we received from the chamber.
I think credit to Babybay for how he adjusted his setups, but also Josh RT, the coach, in terms of the prep, because Babybay wasn't even set up to make the mistakes at the beginning of the game. He was always sat back that one step deeper, even at the very beginning of the map. So he knew that he was going to get pounced upon. He's been prepped for how Zeta want to approach their attack sides, and they had the perfect game plan to neutralize what they were doing. It does feel at the moment like Zeta had a spark of something niche that caught teams off guard, and now that they've shown it, they're getting punished for it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it goes down to the fact that Zeta felt very one-dimensional. Right? It felt like they came into this map in particular, they had one idea, and it was cool, and it was working a little bit at the beginning. I think they were up, what, 4-1?
Yeah.
3-1 maybe?
3-0 at the beginning,
Yeah, and it really, from that point forward, there was just no success found.
Yeah, it did feel like Zeta Division very much so got just completely trounced.
Right.
And that was not what they wanted to see. I'm sure it's not what a lot of folks here at the Manhattan Center wanted to see. But hey, that is just how the cookie crumbles, right? And you know, it was a tough game without a doubt. You're going up against the regional champions in G2, right? You just faced off against the world freaking champions as well.
It's a tough day.
I mean, it's a gauntlet, 100% gauntlet here. But of course, folks, we're going to take a quick break. When we return, we're going to break down what we saw in map 1, talk about some of those highlight moments, and then get you all ready for map 2. To get that opportunity to face off against NRG in our final smart.
Yeah, it's like
One enemy remaining.
Stop fucking playing!
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Fire in the hole! One enemy remaining.
G2.
Spike planted. Last player standing. Simple. Last player standing.
Nice, Trent! That's you, baby. Let's go, Trent!
Face your fear!
To get that opportunity to face off against NRG in our final smart.
yeah, it's like
One enemy remaining.
Stop fucking playing!
G2.
Last player standing.
Nice, Trent! That's you, baby. Let's go, Trent!
Face your fear!
To get that opportunity to face off against NRG in our final smart.
yeah, it's like
One enemy remaining.
Stop fucking playing!
One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Fire in the hole! One enemy remaining.
G2.
Spike planted. Last player standing. Simple. Last player standing.
Nice, Trent! That's you, baby. Let's go, Trent!
Face your fear!
To get that opportunity to face off against NRG in our final smart.
yeah, it's like
One enemy remaining.
Stop fucking playing!
face off against NRG in our finals tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like
One enemy remaining.
Oh! Stop fucking playing!
Good attack. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining. Fire in the hole! One enemy remaining.
G2.
Welcome back, everyone, to Red Bull Home Ground. We're having a lot of fun out here, and we actually just played one of the most intense games of musical chairs I've ever seen in my life. Oh, man. Shout out to Herman Miller. A great way to compete in musical chairs, for sure.
do you think it's harder to play musical chairs in cosplay?
I think so, but, you know,
Right?
I think our boy Boomer Stone, Vacation Boomer Stone, picked up the win. And there goes Chris Puckett, the legend himself, just guiding him through the crowd. Unbelievable stuff there. Of course, having a lot of fun here at the Manhattan Center in New York City. Of course, Golden Boy alongside Doug and Sideshow. We just watched, honestly, G2 just absolutely trounce Zeta Division on that Sunset pick. And really, we were unsure what we were going to get from Zeta, but we were, Doug, talking about what we were going to be seeing from the composition. We wanted to see some chamber from Baby Bay. We got exactly that, and he really did put up one hell of a show.
Yeah, I think he looked really good. I think he did what he was asked to do. You mentioned it prior to going to the break. I think the team had a really good protocol around making sure he wasn't in positions to get punished anyway.
Yeah.
We talked about it prior to the map starting. They're going to be running a double duelist. The main formula that has to be solved is, can you get to Baby Bay on this double duelist comp? They weren't able to do it.
Two things that these stats show you very clearly is that the first kills were not going the way of Zeta Division, especially on the defense side. They kept walking into G2, and when they got to the post plants, they couldn't win them. They got the spike down 8 times, which is really decent, but they only won half of those, which is very poor. And a lot of the time it was on A, G2 getting the retakes, or Zeta feeling like they were forced to fight a little further and getting caught out. These are big things that they're going to have to deal with as we move forward to their map pick of Split.
Man, I mean, looking at the MVP breakdown, though, Trent, what a showing from him on the fade, doing everything he can on the initiator role. Really,
I've always said he's a fade merchant. That's the thing with Trent.
Have you always?
I thought he was a Tejo merchant.
No. Tejo? Who's Tejo? Fade is my new friend now.
Oh, okay. No Tejo, only Fade. But yeah, there are a couple of those big moments from that first half we were getting from Baby Bay, and it did really shut down. And honestly, it deflated whatever energy we were seeing from Zeta Division in this game. It started things off. We thought, okay, Zeta's swinging. You know, it's 4-4 tie. Maybe there's opportunity here. But then they just started to peel away, Doug. And then once it did, they never looked back.
Yeah, the truth is, there was a lot of hope and a lot of excitement, but G2 just really kind of imposed their will upon Zeta. They busted out the chancla and they whooped them.
Yeah, that's true.
And the truth is, I have a hard time thinking that that may change moving forward with the way that they were shooting. I know they're headed to Split, and I know that's Zeta's pick, but the truth is, there wasn't a ton to walk away inspired from on that double duelist comp that we saw on Sunset.
No, I think they have some serious issues that are going to continue to plague them as they head forward into Split. And namely, it's the same kind of stuff. On their attack side, are they actually able to pin down some of the G2 members? And even if they do, can they win post plants off the back of it? And then when they play defense, how do you defend aggressively into a team who's so disciplined in their attacking defaults?
Right. Yeah.
All of these questions that were posed on Sunset are going to be exactly the same on Split.
Yeah, I do feel like you're seeing a little bit of inexperience diff here, right? Like, I mean, not even a little bit, a lot of it, right? Like there is, and not to take anything away from the Zeta guys, it's just that these G2 players, they have been in these high stakes situations, playing in front of big crowds. They have experienced this many times. And as a result of that, you have to wonder, Doug, like that level of experience, that level of discipline, as Sideshow have pointed out, it's a very, very difficult thing to break through if you're Zeta Division.
Yeah, I mean, the tough thing, even the tougher thing is, you kind of set up very nicely how they are so diametrically opposed as far as experience comes into this match, but you're also asking this kind of piecemeal, maybe solved roster, but maybe has 3 stand-ins to solve all of these problems on the fly.
Yeah, it's a tall task, for
It's
sure.
borderline impossible.
Yeah, no, without
Well,
a doubt.
at very least, they're getting excellent experience here, right? They're playing against the top teams. They're played against the world champion, playing against the Americas champions. You can't ask for much more in terms of getting that experience as a team that's still trying to figure out what you're doing heading forward into 2026. But you'd love to go home today having won at least a map after how good you looked throughout the playoffs portion earlier.
All right, well, here goes your agent select here. Nice to see the breach on split, but also on the other side got the Sky there from XDL. Double Duelist is going to be run here. Waylay for Jogamo. You know, I do think we're going to see Jogamo maybe have himself a dog of a time out there today if anything goes his way.
Well, the first half is going to be that same question we were talking about to end Sunset. How does Zeta increase the tempo and force fights against G2?
Yeah.
G2 are going to be hyper-disciplined, always with a fault line, ready to punish. Baby Bay locking down the A side of the map. Where does Zeta find their advantage early on in the round?
Let me inject some hope.
Okay.
Allow me to inject some hope.
Go, please.
Just for a second. They couldn't do it last map because they didn't play many rounds on defense. Now they're starting on defense, so they'll get at least 12.
I like where your head's at, Doug. All right, folks, let's go ahead and jump into the action. It's time for Map 2.
What in the world do Zeta do here? G2's going to start on the attacking side. Golden Boy, very eloquently mentioned, Jogamo's going to have a dog of a time, right? He's going to pop off as you would expect him to, as he really has all tournament, and he's got all the tools to do it. Leaf on the breach. We mentioned the fault lines at the ready, and they're flirting towards AO. Deep smokes too. I mean, yeah, this is an A-hit.
Yeah, this is incredibly fast, and Honey Bunny without a snake bite in this round because it's a pistol, can't hold them off. Instead, it's going to be a full retake. If Zeta can win these, though, if they can win retake scenarios, it will give them a massive win condition.
Yes, but Jogamo is a frenzy.
And that's always a big problem.
Right. He makes it look like the best gun in the game. That paranoia is really nice. A little ebb and flow, and there you go. Jogamo with the frenzy from a distance, called right on time. Honey Bunny there on the trade, though. Didn't have the spit, does have the ghost. And that might just, don't go that way. Might just be enough. Never mind. G2 kind of snatching us back. Baby Bay healthy, tries to pluck one down from heaven and succeeds. A spam into the smoke. Sugar Zero with 7 HP. You just gonna hold this the whole way? No shot. Oh my gosh, he double tapped it. He stole it! What a play! It's highway robbery!
There's a bit of that experience coming through from Sugar Zero. Outplays Baby Bay in the clutch. I don't really know how Baby Bay managed to pick up a frenzy in the midst of that too. The perfect gun to try to spam in, knowing that he'd done some damage to Sugar Zero as the smoke came up. God, he played with him. Winning the pistol round early on was not enough for Sunset, but at least it gives them a great chance starting out here on their map pick of split.
And it kind of brings the crowd back into the game too a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that will be enough. Heavy investment. Boy, they drained the banks on this one.
It didn't look like. Oh. That's a big mistake from XDL.
And it continues to compound. Valen not only gets a kill, upgrades a weapon, gets another. This would be a tragic way for that to swing back, but Honey Bunny and Sugar Zero steady with it.
Still in the 3v3, better weaponry.
Yeah. There's Echo in the face of the dashing Jogamo. He gets his kill, gets away though, but now he's left in a 1v2.
Jog hasn't seen Sugar Zero in essentially the whole round. There's an Omen smoke in his face, but that doesn't tell you much about the positioning.
No.
And this spike is in a horrible spot, very out in the open.
That's gotta feel so uncomfortable.
He's just gonna go for it.
I guess you don't really have a choice.
I have the spike.
Shoots, position given away. And he's gonna slip the net.
Yeah, it's a lot of respect being given here from Zeta. Maybe a bit too much.
30
They're
seconds
doubling
left.
up to try to deny if it does go A. They can play the retake on B, but they're offering Jorg an opportunity to find a timing on them in the post plan and split this 1v2 up into a series of ones.
Oh, you keep talking about this ember, this flame that is Zeta.
Spike planted.
I mean, this would pour a bucket of water over it, wouldn't it?
Jorg has to go for a fight here. You're up against the two smokes players of Zeta Division. You cannot play offsite.
He's got a stinger. And they've got Bulldogs on the other side. I mean, the range advantage alone should secure the situation.
He might be trying to push them as they get the smoke onto the spike.
They've closed the gap, and that tips in Jogamo's favor. There's the tap of the spike. The smoke is down. He's going to check it on the other side. He's going to get one. He's going to get both! A Red Bull clutch and heartbreak for Zeta.
Oh, it's diabolical. The stuff that Jorg has been getting away with in this tournament is outrageous.
All the wind out of their sails.
The way he swings in here, it's exactly as Sugar Zero's looking the other way. He couldn't have caught a better timing. What a way to play that. Against the two Smokes players on the retake, knowing that they'd be inside of it, it's such a gamble. And now Jorg, in round 3, one away from an ultimate. Stop me if you've heard that one before.
Instant pick already onto Echo.
Well, these kind of rounds, you're expecting G2 to hold those super safe defaults.
Right.
And look at the positioning of Baby Bay and Leaf over towards A. They couldn't be further back towards their own spawn.
Yeah.
Just trying to bait somebody like Absol into taking an aggressive fight. And of course, it's Echo who gets punished over in B main, like you said. But they're just looking to try to punish the duelist players early on. This was entirety of Sunset defense. Zeta feeling like they had to go, had to try to make a play, had to peek for at least information early, and G2 were punishing them.
Which the truth is, I mean, we talked about that as probably one of the correct ways to run the comp, too.
Yeah, I mean, you do want to be getting aggro a little early in the round. I think part of the problem is that Zeta have not demonstrated an ability to play a big set retake well. So even if they do push out one side of the map, can they win?
Right.
Or are G2 just going to save a bunch of utility and have still aftershock, paranoia, stuns, all sorts of stuff to fend off the retake?
So you imagine here if you're Zeta, you're just trying to die to the spike, not give any ult orbs over.
You do not want somebody like Leaf or Baby Bay getting up to an ultimate.
No, not at this point.
It's bad enough that they already have Jorgs.
Right.
Baby Bay's going to go hunting. He can smell blood.
How's that sniffer? Not good enough. Sidelined by one.
Valent's gone for it. He's got his ult online.
Right.
The Omen ult, actually not that deadly. You're not too worried about that if you're Zeta Division.
Oh, brother, with the way that G2 have been playing, I hear that ult go, and I'm looking back sight. Yeah, I'm looking back in the map, and so I think that alone can apply a lot of pressure.
Yeah, there's creative things you can do with it, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even use it for information. For example, Valent could ult towards the back of B, and if you see somebody, you hit the waylay ult. Use it almost as a piece of scouting util.
Yeah.
But we have yet to see the adaptation from Zeta that works with this comp on their defense.
Ooh, what a juxtaposition as you look at both of these teams on your screen. The ever-verbose captain of Valent commanding the troops, just going off, and then you take a look at Zeta, and it looks flat. But they've got to find a way to rally. They've got to find a way to spark back.
Well, it's not as aggressive this time for Zeta. They're holding back. On a mid-round timing, Absol goes for a peek towards A ramp. Baby Bear yet to commit his orb.
Looking for a pick. Will not find one yet. The dog suggesting a little bit of pace.
You've spotted the Viper, so you're pretty sure here, if you're Zeta, if you're G2, the Vents is going to be clear. Are they ready for this paranoia play from Sugar Zero of Honey Bunny's contact? Playing a lot more passive, looking to try to play crossfires and trap setups now. This is the adjustment for Zeta.
They just invested a flash into B main, doesn't find anyone.
He's baited the refract.
Yeah, they're going to end B. And it's just off of the rotations. Remember, there was a flash that was put towards B main. Nothing was found, so they decided to try to get out. Sugar Zero has nowhere to go, but somehow Houdini's his way around the bullet, stays alive, but it's just delaying the inevitable. And it's Leaf that's inevitable. Baby Bay, fully flashed, gets one anyway. And now Absol's left in a 1v4. Brother.
Some crazy scenarios there. Leaf and Baby Bay going above and beyond in those spots. All smiles on Leaf's face. Playing the breach towards the back of the pack. And instead of pathing with the rest of his team towards the site, tucks up into an orb and is able to play for two. I don't think he had any clue that the second player was there, but they lined up perfectly for it.
Yeah, sometimes better to be lucky than good, I guess.
Zeta would love a little bit of it.
Yeah, I mean, just a shred. They're begging for scraps. Things really haven't gone their way at all since the second round.
And that was a very different look from them. And even the slower pace didn't provide any value.
Right.
Echo tries to force it. Was playing around the Bucky a lot on Haven versus NRG. Here finds nothing on the Eco. G2 looking comfortable getting up to 4.
Echo continues to play the role they're asking him to play. I mean, in ecos and otherwise, he is the first one out. He's just not finding anything.
This is going to allow another opportunity for G2 to get up to massive ults.
Yeah, Trent knocking on the door of his ult. Leaf more than halfway there, and there it is, the Nightfall in mind. It's got to be so frustrating if you're Zeta.
Especially because in the back of your head, you're thinking, well, we beat these guys before. We were good enough then, what happened?
I think that logic is long gone at this point.
It's very possible. 3 players, 1 off an ultimate for Zeta Division, but it's much harder to construct a game plan to play around orbs on defense.
Yeah.
You really can't do it.
No.
But G2 with a massive ultimate advantage to work with to keep the snowball, the avalanche continuing. Zeta have barely won a round in the last, I don't know, 20 that these two teams have played.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, when you say it like that, it sounds worse.
Well, it's almost like the false hope of the pistol because they couldn't even convert the follow-up afterwards.
Right.
It must be mentally brutal to deal with right now. Again, a more passive approach from Zeta Division. They don't want to give away their kills too early on in the round. But it does allow G2 all of the space to set up for a big ult play. Echo uses the refract, prodding into mid. A little bit of a re-clear. They have good information. Nobody B main and nobody mid. So they know this is going to end A. Can Zeta do anything with that info?
They're starting to rotate over. Honey Bunny arriving with XCLL close by.
I like this angle.
He's got to get more done, though. Oh, he tried TPing back and he had nowhere to go. Oh, and then he made himself. He's got to satchel out. He can't. Plucked out of the sky.
But these 3 players still defending, all set up. Valen calls for them to cancel. Looking to continue making noise here, disguising the fact he's sending the troops backwards and over towards B.
Yeah, the paranoia is just eye candy here.
Look at Zeta, getting aggro, getting this information.
They're taking it hook, line, and sinker.
Oh, but Valen punishes.
Beautifully played from the captain. The misdirection, and then still finding value on the kill. You can't ask for much more.
No, you really can't. Sugar Zero's gonna have to be a hero.
Last player standing.
Not delivering this time around. Echo, what do you got? Often the first to fall, this time the last. But it's a bit of the same story, isn't it?
It is. This round, I really liked what they had set up. I think Absol's angle that he was playing on over towards A-Ramp made a lot of sense.
What a
Giacomo refracting just for the iframes. And then he gets traded out. The aftershock. There's just so much utility that G2 have to punish anybody who's playing either in a tucked off angle like that or who tries to get aggressive at the start of the round. It is a puzzle that at the moment Zeta have no answer for, so they go to the coaches. Of course, the coaches would have come into Split with a very clear game plan as well. They know the same questions that we're asking.
Right.
They'll have come up with an initial answer for something they thought would work.
You would think.
But at this point, 5-1, Zeta need an adjustment. They need something that is going to find them value.
They need a prayer, is what they need.
I'd like to see them go for some more quick refighting. So when G2 make a little bit of noise over towards ramp,
right,
or making a little bit of noise over towards B main, trying to get your Sky, your Saturate, and try to refight into them. It's tough. I mean, none of these are good answers, but it's at least something they haven't tried already.
Yeah, I mean, it is wild to think that we have full visibility of everything that's happening on the map, and we don't really know how to beat this either.
But it's very tough. This is not a comp that's great on the defense side. It doesn't have the versatility of the Yoru to be able to ping from side to side.
Right.
It does rely on catching your opponents off guard, but you've got to lean into the aggression of the comp. And this is a trap in B main. Opportunity to do what I just said, a refight, but 2 players stunned.
Immediately, and Giacomo goes in. XCLL, I think, flashed himself. Don't really have a choice otherwise.
They both got hit by the fault line.
Yeah.
Insane value from Leaf.
The Breachman.
He might be now. So Zeta reacts by triple pushing through mid. This is an eco, remember? But now that they know that mid is clear, back to reinforce B.
Yeah, go on, get a little curious.
Absol would have to hit a lovely shot here, pick up a rifle, try to snowball an advantage. Trent, though, I don't think is going to give him an opportunity. It would be a bit too risky to just walk out on your own into mid here.
Yeah, I also think they've got memories of Baby Bay dying in that exact same spot a couple of rounds ago. The dog clears it out. Trent wise to it. And now all attention towards A. Whoa!
Great
What
kill.
was that? 2 big kills found. Make that 3. Sugar Zero looking to inject life into the round.
They pit, but they don't have the spike. 35 seconds and Leaf is booking it towards A.
Just when it seems like they have an advantage, G2 win the push and pull
30
game.
seconds left.
They're going to try to go through mid, but they want to be quiet, not to give the game away. This slows them down to a crawl.
Right.
20 seconds. Zeta are getting the read. They're going to beat them to the A site.
It's just Sugar Zero here. But Sugar Zero is one of the only ones with a rifle, so that might just be enough. 13 seconds, he's making noise. They've got to know he's there. Off the stun, position given away, and that takes them off the line. They should be able to get the plant down.
For sure, plant. They missed
Wait
it.
a second, no.
He missed it.
Did he?
Thrifty.
No, he did. He missed it. What's going on there?
What a silly round.
Planted with, 3.9 or whatever seconds on the clock. Don't ask me why. Maybe just trying to optimize the plant position as best as he could, but, I mean,
Yeah, brother.
come on, you got to get it in the ground.
Yeah, when it's squeaky bum time like that, just put the thing down.
So, yeah, a fraction of a second too late, but an unforced error. A small amount of disappointment, but to be honest,
I'm not mad.
it's a rare blip. Yeah, I'm not mad, I'm just disappointed. Well, there's a gift for Zeta Division, and how desperately they needed it.
Bring them down.
Now, what do they do with the lifeline that's been given to them?
Well, that round, can you replicate it? They got great information that it was ending towards B, and they stacked and they fought in the choke. Boxed G2 in before they were even able to escape.
Hit some ridiculous shots along the way, too.
Sure. What is this?
What are you up to? You flash on the other side of it, right? You don't just dry swing out. You don't just dry swing out.
At least Sugar Zero gets the trade. That could have gone even worse.
Honey Bunny, not tracking that one.
Crossed up.
Ankles broken. Sugar Zero able to respond. Has to TP away right into the lap of Trent. And somehow gets a 3rd. What do Baby Bay and Leaf do here? No spike. No real position on the map. They're really set apart.
Echo's about to get whacked in the side of the head here.
They know
Clothesline by
where he is.
Leaf.
Good comms there. Slowing down the
30
situation. No
seconds
real
left.
way to clear out main, though.
They're worried about Sugar Zero still being there.
They should be. They're going to find the timing. They're going to find shots. It's just Leaf on the other side. He's going to have to find 2, and he can't. Leaf, excuse me, Zeta, they get another.
These last 2 rounds have been quite ridiculous. Sugar Zero trading out Valin and then getting stuck with an aftershock. TP's into B main. He should be dead every single day of the week and twice on Sundays. And Trent's like, what on earth are you doing here, bro?
Well, it's Saturday, I guess. He's able to get away with it. Oh, that guy was going through it, wasn't he?
Yeah, that's a wild round. These are the kind of ones that Zeta desperately need. What is the magic number here? I don't know. 4, 5?
Destroyed.
And a pistol and an amazing attack side. And maybe, just maybe, Zeta could be back in this game. Their adjustment has been to play much slower on defense. Echo goes for a peek.
No more.
You know, when things start to fall your way, with every kill that passes, there's a little, hang on, what if?
Well, they've got some nice lucky moments, actually.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
More spam through the smoke.
Locked out.
Jogamo forward, buys some cover. Doesn't get the kill.
Bit of information. Really stopping this flood from coming back in.
Yeah, but the Seekers should double down on the gas pedal.
They stopped the plan.
They're forced to sit back on the other side of the wall. But G2 erupts. Echo on the swing. Can't get much more. Sugar Zero, now Honey Bunny in a 1v2. Turning the flash, waiting for the challenge that doesn't come yet. Still gets tagged by the stun.
These stuns are magnetic, I believe.
He's in the walls. But Honey Bunny still has to find a way to navigate it.
How proactive from Leaf, already re-pushing screens here.
What can you do here? There's been a little spark. There's been a little bit of hope. But you've got to keep that ball rolling. And so Honey Bunny has to provide a miracle, and he can't this time.
Trent and Leaf absolutely rock solid for G2. Going for a double swing towards the end, recognizing where Honey Bunny would be playing from. And Trent getting that value by just trading people out on site once Zeta's flood came through. They committed so many resources there to stuffing Zeta back into screens.
Yeah.
Enemy remaining.
And so swing makes it impossible to win that. I mean, you're hitting lifetime shots to win that out.
Yeah. A short run of rounds halted in its tracks. Zeta Division with 4 players in mid. Really fast play.
Yeah.
This is the kind of stuff we haven't seen too much of on here.
There might be enough in the Steam engine to keep it going. TP's out. They were ready for it. They were waiting.
Yeah, but they saw 2.
Yeah.
This might be terrible information, however, because the spike could be headed on A. It's a full fake on B.
And they're biting. He's going to TP out.
Absol's holding the retreat.
Gets one, pops the rocket, looks for the second and finds it. Zeta again. Somehow find themselves in these rounds.
Yeah, this one was a really nice round from Zeta Division. Completely crushing that fake, making sure that they got all of the kills, the space controlled by Absol. And now Valen becomes the playmaker. Down in 3v5, he's got to make something happen. Tucked in the smoke at top heaven.
Baby Bay investing the pit too. Doubling down on their attempt to secure this round. There's Valen, the playmaker, answers the call, but just for one. And those numbers don't add up when you're down. Even with Leaf getting another, there's still so much you need to do. The pit might be the cover that they need. Baby Bay waiting on the other side of it. A bullet in his ear, and that might be enough. Leaf's left in the 1v1. Tries to control it and does.
He's done him again. Running and gunning with the Phantom to be able to secure a kill on a weaker player. G2 take the lead 7-3.
And if the last round didn't feel like it, this one kind of confirms it. I mean, they're stomping all over. What little heat was left in this fire.
Yeah, this one was a full 3v5. Absol able to get 2 kills, crush the fake. And yeah, gotta feel devastating.
That one's just, that's a tough one, man. You shouldn't be losing that one.
Absolutely. And it's knocked Zeta Division's money completely down.
And so they're busted again.
Then again, it's another lucky kill from XDLL, spamming the exact right spots and answer back immediately. What is going on?
In kind. XDLL not around for long. Just these sheriffs.
Not the weapon you want if you're spamming through smokes, but somehow
Nope.
still making it work a little.
Leaf about to get threatened here. Double swing, kill found. He upgraded a weapon.
Yeah.
He sure did. That's a Phantom now. Well, puts it right back down. Goes up, must follow. Honey Bunny getting another one with the Sheriff.
Face your fear.
They've invested the Nightfall on the other side of the Sugar Zero once again. Getting him down to a 1v1. Where Honey Bunny has the Phantom light armor. But it's Trent on the other side. And that clock is ticking. Honey Bunny looking to stick it, now forced to swing out. And Trent stands tall.
He's done that to them in rounds before. Peeks over the top of his monitor to taunt. Reminds me of a clutchy one on Sunset. Again, just wide swinging out, putting the pressure on, knowing that Zeta are going to be a little bit nervous in spots like that and probably try to take the fight too early. Relying on the fact that Honey Bunny's going to miss the first couple of bullets and give him an easier shot to hit.
Yeah, I mean, he played that about as well as he could have.
Yeah, Leaf and Jorg with massive ultimates to close out the half here for G2 and nobody playing on the B side. Look at Zeta, 3 in spawn, just playing off noise. Looking to try to stack, playing a pretty desperate idea.
Yeah,
maybe it'll work.
I think they're just trying to flood off of the noise. Reactionary.
Jorg did not want to commit over the top of that snake bite. Baby Bay, though, finding his timing.
Hang on, that's both butts invested. Baby Bay's getting a little bit of value on the other side, but Valen single-handedly gets them close, but not close enough. Baby Bay left in a 1v2.
The reposition from Echo and Sugar Zero deep into B main. They're looking for him on the flank. They think he's rotated back through the attacker's spawn.
Note that Sugar Zero has his ult.
Nice movement. Tech didn't make a noise down there, but the deployment of the orb is going to make them now warned. Did he smoke off the spike? He didn't.
He's just off the mark. My man said he was 30, but he wanted to prove people wrong. This would certainly go a long way in doing that. He's got to have to find 2, though. And with 30 seconds left,
30 seconds
with every
left.
second that passes, doubt continues to introduce and cloud the mind.
I quite like this from Zeta, though. They're making sure that he's not on some kind of mid-lurk. They let him get the plant, and they can play the 1v2. The panic, the paranoia going through Babybay's head right now as he wonders where exactly they are.
The silence so deafening. Paranoia out, one bit of position given away, no real idea on where the second one is, and now Baby Bay tucking in his orb, looking to try to isolate and segment the fights in his favor. Gets one, gets both, straight out of his seat.
He's earned this spot on G2, and he's here to showcase how and why. Plays like that, 1v2, the first ISO in the 1v1, this one is beautiful. No opportunity for a trade. Tiny little cut the pie, slicing it around the corner. And he's up at the top of the scoreboard again for G2 while playing the attack side Viper.
14 and 8. Not too bad.
No, he was immaculate last time he played this as well. He's so good at playing these controlled positions, never getting punished, and getting big value exactly when his team asks for it.
You know, part of the conversation we were having earlier is we see up. I didn't know what was under that. All of a sudden, it was going to be a family-friendly show.
Let's go,
and I think we are watching and continuing to watch G2 answer a lot of the questions that we had around this new roster.
Yeah, and it's not the answers I was expecting.
No, me neither.
I was not expecting the answer to be, yeah, Leaf is going to completely fill almost the exact same agents, not just the role, but the exact same agents that Jonah P you'd be expecting him to play. And Baby Bay is going to fill in for Leaf's position and be at the top of the scoreboard. You know, these are not the answers I was expecting to come out from the G2 camp, but it's working well nonetheless.
It is against a Zeta that really has been spinning their wheels since round 5 of the first map.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? I mean, they haven't really found any success or any reason, any ability to hang on to hope.
No, they are going to need to come out with something utterly explosive. And maybe because it's split and the sites themselves are a little smaller, perhaps they could jump onto people and avoid, for example, we think about Sunset and the angles that Baby Bear is playing. Pretty far back, pretty deep positions.
Yeah.
It can be harder on split to play deep positions that are near exit avenues. If you're thinking about anchoring A, deep positions over towards elbow, you're not playing a chamber, you can't escape as easily. Deep positions on B towards back site, well, you're not going to be able to escape potentially out through CT. But I'm coping here, trying to come up with ways that Zeta are getting back into this game.
Yeah, you are. Are you confident in anything you're saying right now?
No.
No.
No, I'll be very real with you.
Yeah.
I'm going to need some huge moments, I think from Absol particularly, because he was top of the stats, bar none, coming into today.
Yep.
Now, that was only a sample size of 2 maps, and that's part of the volatility of this tournament. You get runs like this, where Zeta Division can be a top 3 team, but the 2 maps that they played, they dominated.
They did, but now they're getting exposed in this more marathon, less sprint situation. You go from a 40 to a 5K, and all of a sudden, they look lost.
I've never done any running in my life, so I don't understand that reference. I've walked.
They are walking towards B. Valent's there with a flash. There's a stun setup too. I mean, all of this is so nice. Valent still back sight, still gets a kill, steady shots from the leader.
And the fault line perfect. Leaf again with another assist.
Again, with every kill that passes, it seems like the hopes and dreams of a miracle run are closing. That was insane patience out from XDLL.
Yeah, they've got options to go back into B. I'm not sure whether the spike is going to commit to A here. If it does, Trent's got full information that there's no pinch happening.
He might get a pick here. It's actually Baby Bay who might. And so what? They double down and try to flush him out? The problem is reinforcements are arriving again. G2 always have one other player close by. It's never as safe as it seems. But XDLL able to respond a little, deal some damage. But with 8 HP,
30 seconds left.
Leaf from that distance, that frenzy works like an op. And so now Echo with the Ghost in a 1v3. The stun tags because of course he does. Leaf looks like he's been playing this agent his entire life.
Yeah, every fault line gets value, every single one. Either off contact or off a piece of utility or just with Leaf's fantastic game sense. G2 take a 7-round lead. I think you've got to force it, Zeta. You got the plant money. Yeah, you didn't get very many kills, but if you don't force here, what are you playing for?
Yeah, I suppose, but I mean, what's the idea? What?
Well, what was working for Zeta Division previously, you pop into sites,
Yeah.
if you can get some space, then you can set up Honeybuddy for going for like lurk plays through mid in the post plan.
Sure.
It's just that the actual pop into the B site got countered by Paranoia fault line.
Right.
And even though the double duelists commit, they can't get the kills.
Yeah, sure.
So you've got to somehow bait out that first wave of defensive utility and still get into the site.
The G2 are playing with such confidence right now. Even Valorant on that swing, they're going to try to dive onto him, but he doesn't stick around long enough to punish. He TPs back out immediately. Sugar Zero from up on high, able to get one, but it's not enough. This force is going down with nothing. XDLL though, and Echo, making me eat my words. Leaf
undetected.
He's going to show up a little late. Now Echo, 19 HP, 5 bullets, can't connect. Leaf gets the last 2, and that might be wraps.
It could well be. They actually had an opportunity there, Zeta Division. Went out with Echo, he refracted, they go through as the second wave. I really like what Sugar Zero did as well. TP's on top of New Box and then through the rafters, but Leaf just looks indomitable on Breach.
Yeah. Yep.
He's playing so well with it. 12-5. And he's got himself in the right position again to support Jorgamo. A game where Jorg has not been required this so far.
Yeah. They hear him. They know he's there. Leaf has a stun, ready to go. Jorgamo calls for it. Pops his TP, watches Satchel through. He's gonna get a pick. Spotted by the dog, but it doesn't matter. Puts XDLL down. Oh, and he's going for more. The Bucky, the problem. G2, the problem. And Zeta with no solution.
Leaf's movement, what a menace. Jorgamo 2 hasn't had to do much in this game, like I said, but when called upon, a massive outplay. Doesn't matter what gun is in his hand, he's going to pick up the Odin by the look of our screen too.
Man.
Thinks about it, puts the Vandal back down. Oh, it's a tragedy out here.
Yeah, that
but
one's
G2,
tough.
G2 proving that they're a cut above, a step ahead.
2. Right, so what's in the playbook when you're down 3-12 on Tournament Life?
Well,
What do you call there?
They're looking to take some B main control, maybe bait out the Paranoia a little early on, and then you could go into a re-hit on B. The Paranoia has been the big problem, along with all of Leaf's utility.
I don't think they didn't even fully clear out ropes.
Just fake pressure. They want
Yeah.
to go back into the B pot, but like I said, Valin still with that flash to work around.
And he's playing up.
Oh, well, this could be a mistake. Did
Trent's
G2
there
go
too.
for it?
They both swing at the exact same time, and as has been the case this entire match, G2 can do no wrong.
It's absurd. What a way for it to potentially all end for Zeta. Baby Bay is in spawn with a judge, flanking around with a shotgun. 9 opportunities to close this one out, and they may not need more than 1.
Zeta's got to feel like there are 7 guys on G2 right now. Like, they can't find any space on the map. Every time they try to make a play, there's somebody from G2 there. Every time they think they've isolated and they've found an advantage a little somewhere where they can press and make it
30
hurt,
seconds left.
G2 have it covered.
And so patient from Leaf and Jorg, letting Zeta get the plan down before they tighten the net.
Both got tagged. Sugar Zero, get out of there. TPs and stays alive. Invest the Paranoia, and it's just buying time for Baby Bay to get out. Now Jorgamo TPing in, TPing out. The pendulum swings and it keeps going the way of G2. Leaf gets 2 as Zeta are sent home in about as dominant of a series as you could possibly ask for.
Only 7 rounds total for Zeta Division in this BO3. After they beat G2 13-7 on Haven earlier in the tournament. What a recovery, what a resurgence, what revenge for G2. They head forwards into that grand final to face off against NRG.